Hi, everybody. This is Guy Hebert, former NHL goaltender, and this is The Mask and the Mic. And yeah, I got top billing because I'm the mask.
Yes, and I'm just hanging around. I'm the supporting cast in this equation. I am the Mike Kent French, longtime broadcaster. Gibo, we go in the way back machine when it comes to the Anaheim Ducks. Certainly one of my favorites. Mr. Korbinian Holzer joins the program, and he just had one heck of a run overseas.
Yeah, without a doubt. We don't want to have any spoiler alerts, but you have to tune in and listen to his whole career, and then it kind of comes to fruition here in this last season for him in Austria. So, Frenchie thought it was Germany, but he did play in Austria.
Yeah, I did my research, just not that much research. So
they are close.
A lot of big announcements for Korbinian Holzer coming at you next on a podcast we like to call The Mask and the Mic. We hope you enjoy the show, and Gibo, as always.
And good for us.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of The Mask and the Mic. Kent French alongside Guy Hebert, and we have a very special guest on the program. I'm just going to go Captain Korbinian. Korbinian Holzer, ladies and gentlemen, joins the program. Many Ducks fans remember him spending, I think it was 5 years in Anaheim. But Holzy recently won the freaking championship in Germany. And
Austria. Sorry to interrupt.
Austria?
Yeah.
Listen.
I don't know what's going on.
Get your stats right.
You're going to laugh. I told Holzy before he came on, I had a freaking page of notes, and apparently I'm writing this stuff down. I didn't write the right one down. Austria.
Yeah.
Congratulations, dude. And you were captain of the team. And then you announced you're retiring.
Yeah.
Holy, I mean, talk about a couple weeks. Can you please just kind of go through the emotions of what's been going on with you over the last 2-3 weeks?
Yeah, to be honest, I can't really grasp it myself yet. The retirement part was kind of announced, internally announced. I talked to the team. I made a decision kind of like in the Olympic break. I made a decision for myself to retire at the end of the season, and I kind of communicated it with the coaches and the team internally before the playoffs started, just to kind of maybe get a little more fire, even like a little more fire that we already had, and have the guys think, maybe it'd be nice to win this championship for this old wagon, right, in his last year. And so yeah, that was kind of already on the horizon, and obviously the championship, can't control that. It just happened. The way it happened was unbelievable, obviously. And now sitting here, going out of the game as a player, winning a championship after 20 years of professional career. In my last year, I haven't won anything before. So winning it in my last year is obviously super special. And I'm super thankful for the whole thing, how it went down, and how to go out. I think including playoffs, we won 16 games in a row. We went there's only 3 rounds here in Austria, or in Europe in general. You have a quarterfinal, you have a semifinal, and the finals, all best of 7. So we went 12-0 in the playoffs. So we swept every team, and it was a fairy tale run, to say so. And it was special, and it's a special group. Obviously, people who've won know how hard it is, and I'm very, very fortunate to experience in my last season. And this is going to be a bond forever, like they say.
Now, when you started this season, did you know that you were going to retire at the end of the season? Did you just say, hey, I'm going to keep it under wraps until it's the right time to tell people? Or were you just kind of feeling it out? I know for all of us, you kind of go into a season and you think, God, I don't know how much gas I have left in the tank. I mean, can I get through this season and then I'll worry about it in the off season? But yeah, I mean, where was your mindset when you started training camp?
I had a 2-year deal here, and my first year, during the season, I was kind of there's the first couple of times where I was like, man, I don't know how much longer I can do this. How much longer? I felt like I'm getting to a point where I'm I want to transition into that next phase. Yeah. I still had a lot of passion for the game, especially when games mattered a lot. And the playoffs obviously is it's kind of like my bread and butter, and it's the most fun time of the year. Guy, you know that.
Yeah.
And but then I got hurt in January, broke my collarbone. I was done for the season. I was out for the playoffs. I was about to come back in the semifinals, with like a brace over my collarbone, which was like, it's like, I don't know, 7 weeks into it, and they told me it's going to be at least 12 weeks till I can play again. So I was about to come back after 7 weeks, obviously shoot it up in the playoff semifinals, but then we lost out in game 7 in the quarterfinals, so I wasn't able to come back. And that kind of sparked a fire inside of me that I was like, this is not the way I want to go out. And I felt like I had a lot more game left. And then going into the season, I was okay, let's see how this goes. I had a good time in training camp. I had a lot of fun playing. We had a good start to the season. Um, and then I want to say probably around November, there was a time when I first talked to the team about extension. And I told them, I was like, hey, I need some time to figure out if I want to keep playing or not. And during that time, there was a first bigger stage where I was like in my head, I think it's time to wrap it up at the end of the season. But I want to see how this goes. Then we changed coach too during the season, like in October, I think, a couple of weeks before that. So that kind of postponed my thoughts. I was more focused on getting the team right, obviously in the right direction with the coaching change. There's a lot of new stuff happening, a lot of things going on. So I was more focused about that than myself, what I wanted to do. And then, like I said, in February with the Olympics, I was like, okay, I have to make a decision now because I need to let people know I need to get ahead of things a little bit and have like a little bit of a head start to what I want to do after. And yeah, that's when I made that decision and I felt it. Like there was games where I was like, man, I think I want to play another year. And then there's games like bus rides home where I'm like, no, I'm done. Like, this is it. You can feel it. And I actually like talked to Dallas about it, like Dallas Eakins. I called him. We're
Wow.
still in contact because he was coaching me in Mannheim my last year there, and he's still like we go way back, right? I've known him for I don't know. I think ever since I got drafted in the league, like by the Leafs, he was a player development coach, and then he followed me around kind of.
That's right. Yeah.
And we're still in touch. We're basically really good friends, I would say, and have a really good relationship. So I called him and asked him, "Hey, when did you know it's time to retire?" And he said, "Like it's tough to say. Everybody's different, man. Like you'll feel it." And that feeling came this year in February, where I was like, "Okay," well, like in January, where I was like, "Okay, I think this is it." I had a good feeling about the team. I didn't know, obviously, we were able to win the championship. Like I had a feeling we have a chance, but knowing it then, I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna leave it. Like obviously, I'm gonna leave it all out there, and if we win, awesome. If we don't win, I'm also fine with going out after 20 years, healthy on my own terms, not with an injury, and I think that was huge. And I'm very thankful, like I said, to actually end it with a bang.
Wow. What a run. Hey, fix your I'm gonna have you fix your camera. You're sliding out of the shot.
That's because he's comfortable because
You're
he just
comfortable.
retired. He's
I
Is
know.
it me?
I know. Yeah, yeah.
Let's
There you
see.
go.
Is it better?
Can you do that a little bit? Yeah, you were like, I saw half. You're just like, I know you're as you're getting comfortable now. You're in retirement. You're just like slowly sliding out of the shot. I'm going, man. You're really relaxed now. I don't think I've
Yeah.
seen Halsey this relaxed ever. Um,
You know, I'm a
I mean,
relaxed guy.
honestly, like
yeah, that's true.
Frenchie, it's such a big deal, I think, for any athlete to be able to decide on your own terms, to be able to say, I've had enough. It's been a great ride. I'm ready for whatever comes next in life, whether it's family or a new challenge. And I think that when you can leave the game, listen, I'm going to knock on wood, remotely healthy, right? I mean, we
Yeah,
all
that's
will,
big.
you retire, you're going to deal with things for the rest of your life
Oh
because of
yeah.
what you did. But it's nice to say that, like, okay, I've gone out on my own terms. I'm pretty healthy, and I'm going to look forward to the next stage of life. So it's rare because a lot of times those decisions aren't made by the athlete. It's not made by you or me. It's made by coaches and general managers. The league has passed you on, and
Yeah.
they determine that you're too old, too slow. Whatever it is. What an incredible ride to be able to call your own shots, win a championship, ride off into the sunset, and then embark on your next part of whatever your career is going to be. And I don't know if you've made that determination yet, if you know, or you want to tell people what that might look like if it's still in the world of hockey.
Well, I did a little research though
I was
on
just
what
saying, let's
Holzer's
see
doing
if
next.
Frenchie's stats are
Yeah,
right on this one.
yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go with this, and I've read two different reports. So, are you going to be the head coach of the under-20 team? Did I
That's
read that correctly? Is that
yeah, it's
for
gonna be like yeah, it's basically gonna
DEB?
be
Yeah.
like
Okay.
yeah, like the national team, German national team. And I'm gonna join the under 20s. Kind of like as a I would phrase it as kind of like a GM coach. I'm kind of like working with the head coach who's a head coach there right now. We're gonna be on same level basically. I'll be on the bench. I'll be um have last say on roster decisions. I have obviously influence on the way we want to play. All that kind of stuff. So it's a huge opportunity, obviously for me going into that straight away. I started my coaching license at a year and a half ago, and there's steps obviously in Germany. There's a C license, there's a B license, and an A license, and these steps I'm just about to like take step by step, basically. So yeah, I'm very thankful for getting this opportunity, and I'll be in Canada in December for the World Juniors, so that would be very exciting.
Did you, you were talking to us earlier about kind of trying to make the decision on retirement, if it was the right time, and talking to Dallas, who you've confided in. Was this part of the conversation too about coaching and what that could look like? And has that been in the back of your mind for a while?
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously Dallas, another point we talked about. Where I was like, I feel like coaching would be something I would like. That's why I started trying with the first license or the C license, just to feel out and if I like it or not. Like maybe it's like you come there and you're like, man, this is really exhausting. Like there's a lot of things. Yeah, like I and for me to be honest, like when I went there, like the C license is kind of basic. Like it's more for like really small, like under 7, under 9, under 11, under 13, under 15, kind of before you get into that competitive range.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh man, like phew, teaching kids how to skate, teaching kids how to shoot. And it's, man, I tell you, like I played professional for 20 years and there was 20 other players or former players there. And when the, like, kind of like the instructor asked us, how would you explain 6-year-old Timmy how to skate? There was 20 wrong answers. He's like, "No, like, because it's so hard to break down into detail what it means, how to skate, how to shoot, how to pass, because it's so
Right.
natural for us, right? So
Yeah.
we forget, like, what goes into it. So we threw out all these stupid ideas like, "Hey, like, basically pretend like you're sitting down on a toilet. That's how you start. Like, so get bend your knees, and it's all wrong, right?" So it was funny to see and also very humbling in a sense of, like, understanding how hard it is to
Yeah.
coach. And I learned a lot during that. Wasn't too long, a couple weeks, obviously, like the whole thing, but like those 5, 6 days where we were together, it was super humbling just talking in front of a big group of people you know, but like just barely know. So that was very like your voice starts breaking, like when you start talking about stuff that you grew up with your whole life, or you've basically been around your whole life with hockey. So it's easy to talk about, but like once you're in front of like 20 random people, you're choking, right? So you're like, man, like this is like something I have to work on. So you don't choke in front of a team, blah blah blah. So it's like super humbling, and that's when I learned, like, I think this is going to be something I would like. And obviously, being a captain on the team the last 2 years, there's team meetings, there's stuff you kind of like the guy in between coaching the coaches and the team, right? So you get a lot of like meetings with the coach, you carry it with the team, and vice versa. So that was kind of like nice for me to learn, and then obviously talk in front of the team, get better at that, and yeah, for me, I think that'd be something I'd like to get into, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe it goes well, but I'm very open and I'm very excited to take this next step. And Dallas, when I talked to him, he's like, "Hey, like you, you have the right mindset going into this, blah blah blah." And like we talked about it, he gave me a lot of like insight, and obviously I can call him anytime I want. He offered me to come to Mannheim when they're still playing, but the time wasn't right. I couldn't come. I don't know if he's still here in Germany, so I might have to see if I can visit him over the summer. But he always said, like, if you want to pick my brain, feel free. So I will definitely reach out to him for a few more tips or information.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's incredible, and you know what? I mean, as a player, I know we always need someone in our corner, someone that we can be able to kind of talk offline, where it's not going anywhere. It's great to have a mentor, and I mean, I enjoyed Dallas when he was coaching the Ducks. I mean, I just thought he was a quality person first and foremost. I also thought he was a great, X and O's type of coach. And, I think if anything, the knock against him back in the day was that he was just too good to the players, right? He was very
Yeah.
understanding of things on and off the ice. And I think somehow that kind of bit him. But I really enjoyed him. And I think he'd be a great mentor for you. And, obviously as his coaching career continues, it's great to have that sounding board.
Yeah, for sure.
Holsey.
Or you could call Frenchie.
Yeah, Frenchie's seen a lot for
Wow.
sure too. Like, and there's like obviously like just a connection with Dallas, and like you said it perfectly. I think he's a great, great human being, and there's just so many things just coming over to North America for me in 2010 to the Leafs or like Marlies, and he was a head coach with the Marlies. There's a lot of influence on my obviously professional career and personal life. The way he handled things, the way he handled the players, and yeah, just the humanity he has with guys, the understanding he has. It goes a long way, and it goes way beyond the game of hockey, I think. So, um, just having that person to call is huge, I think. So, I really appreciate him being around and being that open to share a lot of things with me is really beneficial, obviously, to me, and hopefully in the future. And it went both ways. Like any time, and before he came to Germany, he reached out a couple of times. Like I helped him get in contact with the national team, talk to people there about the Olympics maybe at some point before. And it was always like he could reach out to me, I could reach out to him, and like I said, it's almost like a good friendship relationship in the sense that we're yeah just very healthy, and like I'm very lucky to have someone around, and like you said, have kind of like a mentor and a big influence in my life that helped me become the player and the person along the way in this 20-year career.
Yeah, I will say this. I do see a lot of the same qualities, in you that Dallas has, just being a good human, and I can see you being a tremendous coach, and knowing the players, knowing just the human being first, the players second. I think that's something that Dallas was so good at, and was such a good communicator. And I see that in you too, and that's certainly something I look forward to seeing you take on and continue to get better as. And I love the fact that you're going to be a coach. Dude, I can't believe it's just so cool to hear. And I can't wait to see what's next for you. But before we move on, if you haven't followed Holsey on Instagram, you need to. It's Korbinian_Holzer. And I'm saying that because Holsey, you got some unbelievable pictures of the championship. It reminds
Yeah.
me a lot of when the Ducks won it in '07. I mean, the crowds are unreal. The look on your face holding the trophy above your head, you could see it in your eyes. You could see how much it meant to you, how much it meant to the team, the club, the city, the country. I mean, can you just take us through what it was like at the end of that run to win the whole damn thing, and what that celebration has been like?
Well, when you just talk about it, I get goosebumps. Like I wish you guys could see it. Like, but it's actually like it was so special. Like I said in the beginning, the bond I have with this city for the last 2 years, or I built with this city for the last 2 years, has been very unique to like I always loved anywhere I went. And I think I always when I left, I always felt like this is part of my like my personality now, part of my heart. Toronto, my daughter was born. Obviously, that's a huge connection there. Then I went to Anaheim. All the connections I made within the team, around the team, with you guys, for example, and all other people there, as it was always special. Nashville was very short, but also you meet some people. Then I go to Russia, where I had like a great experience with the people there and have a lot of connections where somebody just texted me from that team the translator and congratulated me on my career. So there's a lot of bonds still there that I carry, but this one, obviously, with the championship, makes it just so much more special, right? So, just winning it there for this team, there's some background to it. Like 2 years ago when I signed, the team was dead last in the league with
No
20
way.
points, 20 points out of the playoffs. And there's a new president came in, and the sponsor, basically the president is kind of sponsor. So he brought some money in, and he came in, he said, like, I'm not a president for second places. So that was the mindset when he was coming in. So we had the first year, we had 18 new players. And when I signed, I said, I want to have a 2-year deal because I know how it goes. You have 18 new guys. It's not going to go like if we win, awesome, but that would be fairy tale. But I know in the first year, it's going to have some growing pains. We'll figure out who's the right guys on the bus, get the wrong guys off the bus, basically saying. And we had some growing pains. We lost out in the seventh game of the quarterfinals. Had some up and downs during the season. Then we made some switches, 5 or 6 guys, and we had the coaching change during the season, so that was kind of like an up and down too. And from that point on, something clicked, and we just went off. And experiencing that, being a part of it, and seeing the organization turn around 180 degrees, basically going from a losing organization to a championship organization, and what it did to the people. It's like a small office. I want to say there's 5 people work there in the office.
Wow.
So it's a smallest city, 380,000 people, second biggest city in Austria, but still it's a super small organization. And it's very family style. Like very like people are super friendly, but you could tell they had this losing mentality, and bringing that in to reach this championship, you could tell like there's a switch now, and like they're all about winning, and it was growing. You could feel it during the season. And that was the most special thing, like seeing the faces after we won it of the people in the office, lifting the trophy with the team. Obviously, there's guys who've never won it, like me, older guys that been around, even played in North America, never won anything. And winning it, you could see how special it was for every individual in this organization, on the team, coaches, and that that made it just so much more fun, obviously. And then we had a huge parade. The owner, obviously, he was not afraid to spend. Um, he has a funny story. Like we had a bus, obviously, with the roof off, so we would drive through the city, like the main downtown road, towards the main square, where they had set up a huge stage. And he has a Lamborghini, right? So he has a Lambo, and he wrapped his Lambo like like just wrapped his Lambo for the championship in the colors of the team, which on the side it said championship or champion 25-26. It had the Champions League because we qualified for Champions League too. There's a Champions League in Europe in the leagues, and he had the logo on there. So he just solely for that purpose, he wrapped his Lamborghini and had it drive in front of the bus by someone, and he was on the bus. And like we got to the stage, we went in the town hall, signed in the Golden Book, it's called. So we're kind of like in there forever, like kind of like special citizens of the city, so to say. Like we lift the trophy on the balcony in front of, like, I think there was like 7,000 to 8,000 people, which for a city like that is super special. And the rink only holds 4,000 people.
Wow.
So, and they had every game sold out. Obviously, they could have sell probably like 7 to 8, 10,000 tickets if they wanted to in the finals or semifinals even. That's how special or how much it meant to the city too, or like the people in the city. And then obviously going on stage, then our president had all of us fly to Ibiza for 3 days to party after. So we left, like we had the team party, the championship party on the main square, and we had a 2:30 bus to the airport in Vienna to fly to Ibiza, all paid and sponsored, organized by the owner. He said, I shit you not, he came in before game 2 of the regular season. We won the first game. Game 2, before we go out on warm-ups, and I was shaking my head after he left because like, fuck, I do not need this right now. It's like such a big distraction. But he comes in before game 2. He's like, hey guys, I have a really good feeling about this team this year. Last year, we weren't there yet, but this year I know we're going to win. And if we win, I'm going to take you to Ibiza for 3 days. That's what he said.
Wait,
before
game two.
two.
Game 2.
Before game 2. we lost that game in overtime, but we won it in the end, and he actually came through with his promise. So yeah, we went to Ibiza for 2.5, 3 days, and after that, 7 days of celebration was over, and it was a hell of a like the whole thing was so special, and yeah, it was just a lot of fun, and I don't know how to top that. Like, I'm so happy to go out on those terms. I don't know if I win it again ever. If I keep playing, I win it again. I don't know if you can top that celebration. So it was second to none for sure.
Unreal.
Well, and doesn't end right here, because I won. I was in the IHL when I was with the St. Louis Blues playing in the minors, and we won the Turner Cup in the IHL my second year pro. And to this day, we all are in contact. We have a text chain of 20 odd guys, and kind of remember winning that Turner Cup, and the city, more importantly, reminds us about winning that championship. They have not won a championship since. They've changed leagues over the years, but it's like we've been immortalized in that city for winning the Turner Cup. So I'm sure with your team and all of you, like that bond that you mentioned, that will exist for the rest of your life, and you will keep in contact with those former players. And more importantly, you'll be able to cherish that moment with all the people in the city and that organization. It's a lifetime event.
Yeah, I agree 100%, and that's exactly what I said before we started the playoffs when I announced my retirement within the team. I said, like, hey, like, if we win, this is gonna last forever. Like, you're gonna run into each other. I don't know. I'm 38 now. 30 years from now, 25 years from now, you're gonna run into each other. The hockey world is a small place, right? So you run into each other, and you're gonna be there's immediately something you talk about. He's like, hey, remember this time, like when we won the championship? So every conversation is gonna start with that. So there is a special bond there, and that's like I'm so thankful and happy. That I was able to experience this now for the championship and have this bond with a group of guys or a group of people. And obviously, again, for the people in the city of Graz, they haven't won a championship in this league since they've been founded in '99. They won some different league, I think 40 years ago, but it was obviously not the same. So you could tell on the faces on when we had the parade, it was crazy and it was so much fun.
Halsey, what was it like doing this all with the C? You were the captain for 2 years. You made the announcement in the room about this is going to be it. You wanted the boys maybe to get them fired up a little bit. Did you sense that not you had something there? You felt it. You said it. It was special, but that when you made the announcement, you're wearing the C, you're the voice, you're the leader, and now you tell them you're going to retire. I mean, what was it like being kind of the face of this team and having everybody rise up for this last run?
Well, I would be lying if I didn't say it was emotional. Like, it was super emotional. Obviously, like standing in front there of the team and kind of going through how do you start, right? Where do you start? Where do you finish with like announcing it? I had to kind of find my way. I don't want to just stand there and say, hey, I'm retiring at the end of the season. See ya. So let's try to win it, right? So no, I was like, it was very emotional. Obviously, there's a lot going into 20-year career and a lot of stuff that you sacrifice or people around you have to sacrifice. And making that decision was, announcing or like talking about that decision was emotional for sure. And I could feel by the look on the faces and the guys coming after to me afterwards, after I talked, that they like we were all in the same direction. I could feel right away, and I knew while I was talking, this group was special. And I talked about, like, let's not waste this opportunity. I've been on really good teams. I've been on really good teams with Anaheim. I brought that up too. Like, there was 2 years in Anaheim out of the 5 where I was like, this is like, we're gonna win it this year. I was convinced sitting there sometimes during the playoffs. The first time I came there, when we lost out to Chicago in Game 7 in the conference finals, I was convinced before Game 7 or 6, I was like, we're gonna win a Stanley Cup this year. This team was so good and so dominant. I was like, man, like, I don't know who's going to stop us. And the same was going into that year when we lost to Nashville in the conference finals. I was the same way. I was like, man, like, this year is our year. I just felt it. But then you realize how hard it is to win, and there goes so much stuff into that. In the NHL, it's even harder, obviously, with the 4 rounds and the teams that are playing and the teams you're playing against and all the stuff that goes into it with the travel, blah, blah, blah. You guys know better than I do. But yeah, to just end it winning with the team and knowing the guys gave their all, like also for me to come out with this championship is super emotional. I couldn't be more thankful. Like I've used this word so much, but it's just true. Like I'm super thankful for knowing all these guys to share this experience with them, and I'm so happy for them too to experience it and win it. And that was a big thing for me, like wearing the C. You basically serve the people, right? So I'm happy to be able to serve them and experience this championship too.
Well, for a lot of people, when they think about like European hockey, they they don't really understand. They don't understand that the leagues. They don't understand the travel. They don't understand even how many games that European teams will play during a regular season. Now, so to enlighten everybody who hopefully is watching this podcast, how many games did you play for the regular season? And what is your travel like? Is it by train? Is it by plane? Is it by bus? What's your furthest team that you have to travel to, and what's like your closest team?
Um, so you play, which is a good thing in Europe, and that's one of the biggest differences, obviously. In Germany, you play 52 games. In Austria, it's 48 games. So you play every team in the league 4 times. There's 13 teams in the league, so you have the 12 times four. You play 2 times on the road, 2 times at home, and then you have the playoffs. The furthest travel for us was probably around, I want to say, 6.5 hour bus ride. So you bus everything, right? There's
Yeah.
nothing in Austria is a smaller country, so you don't have to fly anything. So 6.5 hours with bus. We would usually go the day before, but there was times where we go the same day. Go in the morning at 8, get there for game time, unpack, play, go home, get home at 4 a.m. in the morning, 5 a.m., have a Saturday practice, and then play Sunday again. Because usually your schedule is like Friday, Sunday games, and then sometimes a Tuesday or Wednesday game. So sometimes you have three games a week, or most of the times it's 2 games a week. So you have that, and the closest was usually I want to say Vienna or Klagenfurt, which is probably around an hour and a half or two with the bus. And then you have the national team breaks in November. We got the Olympic break in February, obviously, like the NHL had. So the schedule, thankfully, is not as taxing as in the NHL. That for sure helps. But the travel can be kind of challenging, especially in the playoffs. We played the finals. We played the furthest team possible. So it's kind of like Eastern Conference, Western Conference, right?
Yeah.
So in that sense, so we ended up playing them. Um, but yeah, like again, like I said, like and the thing is in the playoffs, true. That's another thing. You don't play two at home, two on the road. If you have home ice advantage and then go 1-1-1, you go 1-1-1-1 for 7 games. So you
Oh,
have a
wow.
Yeah.
game. So that's the travel in the playoffs, and that kind of sucks, right?
Yeah.
So that's when you go like game one, and then you play every
And you're
second day
busting
too.
back and forth?
Yes, yes. So
Wow.
that's kind of like the travel that sucks after a while, especially. So that's the only difference that you have, that the playoffs, it's a little more challenging in that regard, but overall, obviously, less games, less taxing on the body, but more practice time, which is also can be nice sometimes, depending on practice, right?
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it is basically.
And I think it's because you play 82 games in the NHL, and you think about climbing on the plane and flying from here to there and back, and and listen, it's luxury travel in the NHL. I'm not saying that it's not, but I do. I think that a lot of people don't think it's as challenging when you look at a 52 game schedule, and you're playing a less travel schedule, but listen, when you put the skates on and you go out and you compete on however many games, it's brutal, right? I mean, it's still,
Yeah.
I mean, European hockey has changed, I'm sure, over the years to emulate more of the North American style? I mean, there's still a premium on skill, of course, but you're looking at there's still physical players. Like there's a lot of North American guys playing over in Europe, and so they don't instantly abandon what they've been taught all their life how to play. So
Yeah.
do you find that is it become more NHL type hockey? I mean, you think about the Olympics and
Yeah.
everybody competes on the same level because there's so much influence from Europe into the NHL.
Yeah, I think the German league is very North American style play. The Austrian league is a little bit different because you have those like the Italian teams, you have the Hungarian team, you have the Slovenian team. So you have kind of like that influence too into the league, which is kind of interesting. But you have the bigger ice, so it's a lot more skating compared to the smaller ice. Not saying that it's like slower or faster. You have more time in a regard that you sometimes can find those pockets on the ice where you kind of have that extra second compared to the NHL, especially highest level you can find, um, where you have to know where the puck goes before you get the puck. So you need to be a little more aware. Obviously, the hitting is a big factor. It's physical in the playoffs for sure, and during the season, there's games where it's very physical too, but it's less hitting and a lot more skating, where you have to skate in more positions. You have to get up faster because the ice you have to cover is a little more. That sometimes made it easy on the smaller ice for a bigger guy like me to get your gap back on the bigger ice and then D zone. Sometimes there's a lot of room, so that helps like those little skill guys. And the game got so fast. Doesn't matter if it's NHL or in Europe. The game got so much faster. Players are so much more skilled now than compared to when I started playing. And you have to adapt to that. So that's probably like a little bit different, but yeah, there's a big influence both sides, I think, now.
Halsey, let's talk about when you started playing. Now that you're 38 years young, let's go in the way back machine for a second. Fourth round pick by the Leafs back in 2006. And I have a fun fact for you too. Your first NHL goal was scored on your fourth NHL shot.
Yeah, I was a high percentage shooter.
Halsey, the goal scorer, right off
I
the
picked my
bat.
spots to shoot.
Damn right you did. Okay, so
Yeah.
you were at the Leafs, and you got traded to the Ducks. And what was it on 2015 for Eric Brewer and a fifth round pick? Do you remember that day you got traded to Anaheim?
But I will never forget that day. Like your first trade, obviously, like, and the way it happened was just so. I don't know. I tell this story every time I get asked. Like if I'm in a big group and people ask me about the NHL and like stuff like that, and everybody sees the sparkles and sunshines and like all the stuff that goes
Yeah.
into that. Like you play in
Yeah.
the NHL. Like don't get me wrong, I loved every second of it. It's the best like lifestyle, obviously, like the best league in the world. That's where every kid wants to end up. But there's also like a darker side to that, or like a shadow side, I want to say. So my first trade, my daughter was just born, and Frenchie, she was premature by 11 weeks, and in the hospital for a while. So she just got released from hospital and was, I don't know, I want to say, what is it, month and a half, maybe 2 months at home.
Okay.
And we went on a road trip with the Leafs to Washington, and then from Washington we go to Tampa, have a day off on the trade deadline day, and then play Tampa and Florida. So I basically packed for a week road trip and a small suitcase. So you bring one suit probably as a young guy. You don't have as many suits yet. You bring two shirts, so you pack light. So right, you pack underwear
Yep.
for the days you were there, socks, but like you pack light. And I talked to my agent. I knew I was a free agent. I knew with the Leafs we were out of contention. They were trying to rebuild. My agent told me, "Hey, like I don't think anything's going to happen if the trade deadline passes. They want to talk extension." I was like, perfect. I played second line minutes with Jake Gardner at that time, who was a Duck, but like draft pick too, and played like around 18 to 20 minutes. Kind of like first time I really established myself, and I had a good feeling. And we play Washington. I get hammered by Ovi in his first shift. Like my first shift, he hammers me from behind, concussion. right?
Oh,
I
jeez.
finished the shift. He scores the same shift. I was like dizzy as fuck. Like, sorry, but like I stood up and I was like, "What the hell? Why was this not a penalty?" Like he hammered me from behind into the boards. I got up. He comes up in the rush on the side, does his fake thing, like shoots it through my legs, far side, goal, 1-0. 2 minutes in, first shift, and I was like, "Okay." I got pulled out of the game. For safety reason, I was out for the game. I was like, "Holy damn!" Like I come like we I think we lost the game, I can't remember, and, Monday we get to like, we fly to Tampa, we have a Monday day off, right? So, I go to the beach, walk around, get some treatment, talk to my agent again. I was like, "Hey, like, I don't think anything's gonna happen, like, there's some teams kicking cans, but, like, I don't know, I don't think anything's gonna happen." So I'm like, "Okay, perfect." I lay down for nap. I wake up and it's, the trade deadline was at 3 PM, right? Or it's always at 3
Yeah.
PM Eastern.
Yeah.
So I wake up and it's, I think I wanna say it's like 3:45 and nothing on my phone. So I was like, "Okay, like, perfect. Like, I didn't get traded. Sounds right to me." 5 minutes later, my girlfriend calls me, and she never calls, like, unless there's something really, like, I
Yeah.
don't know, anything happening. So she calls, and she's like, obviously still in Toronto, and she's, like, watching the trade deadline day, and she says, like, on the ticker on the bottom, when they go through, your name just came up that you got traded. And I was like, "No, no freaking way." But she said, like, the logo, there's always usually the logo, right,
Yeah.
of the team you get
Yeah.
traded to, and then trade, like, a small, like, just a short note. And she said, "I couldn't, like, it went by so fast, and I couldn't believe it. I didn't see what team." And I was like, "Well, the next time it comes through, like,
Take
take
a
a
picture.
picture and send me a picture." And she's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, okay, I'll do that, I'll do that." And, like, I hang up and I'm, like, shaking my head. I'm like, "What the hell is going on?" I hang up, my phone rings again, and I answer it, random Canadian number. And I answer, I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, this is, TSN Sports Center. This is a great trade for you." And I'm like, "I don't even know where I'm going." And they're like, the
No.
guy is laughing on the phone. He's like, "Ha, perfect. We put you right on air." So they basically put me right into the panel where all these guys sit, talk about all the trades that are happening and all the rumors, blah, blah, blah. They put me right on air. And after that moment, I have no idea what I said. I just completely blacked out. It's just like I now know because you rewatch it, right? And people tell you. And now that I know, is this like obviously the basic thing you say, like they put me on and they're like, "Hey, this is a great trade for you going from Toronto, like one of the worst teams in that moment in the league, and the Ducks were first in the league." He's like going from one of the worst to one of the best teams or the best team in the league, Anaheim. And that's when I found out that who I got traded to. And I was sitting there and I was just like, obviously, like, yeah, well, this is awesome. Yeah, like, can't wait. And thank the Leafs so much for this opportunity and looking forward to joining. I was like saying all this stuff that you say,
Yeah.
but I can't remember saying it because I was just in awe. Like, I was like, what the hell just happened? And I hang up, shaking my head again. My phone rings again. Dave Nonis, who was then the
Mhm.
GM in Toronto, calls me and he's like, "Hey man, like, I'm so sorry you had to find out that way, but we had to wait for the league until the trade call came through." So I was like, "Well, yeah, okay." Like, and he's like,
Thanks.
"Okay, thanks for your time, and like, it was great having you, and you joining a great team for a cup run, and it's gonna be great for you, and yeah, all the best. Take care. Bye." Boom. Hang up. And I was like, again, I was sitting there again. I was like, what the hell? What's going on here? 5 minutes again later, Bob Murray calls me. He's like, "Hey, like, welcome to the team. We're happy to have you, like all that stuff. When can you come?" And I'm like, man, like I'm in Tampa right now. I have no idea like what's going on. And he's okay, right. How's your head? I'm like, yeah, it feels better today. All right, listen, like we're gonna play. I think you guys play in Arizona that day, the next day, and we're in there. He's like, just you gotta come fly in tomorrow. Or I give you the guy, like the team service guy, talk about the flight. I want you coming in to fly to Anaheim, have our doctors look at you, and then we'll meet when we get back from Arizona or wherever. And I was like, oh, okay. And then that guy comes on, the team service guy. I can't remember who it was. I think it
Is it
was
Ryan
Ryan Licht.
Lichtenfeld?
Right? Yeah, Ryan
Ryan, right?
Lichtenfels.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And he said, "Okay, Halsey, like, there's a couple of flights. Obviously, at that moment, it's already pretty late from the East Coast. There's no real connection there." And he's like, I don't think there's a flight now, but there's a flight tomorrow morning. So you can jump on that." And I was like, "Okay, like, what about my stuff?" Because I had no idea. Like, this is the first time we trade. I had no idea what was going on. And he's like, "Yeah, like, just take that flight and we'll figure it out." And yeah, I went for breakfast the next morning, said goodbye to the guys that I saw from the Leafs, and we yeah, took my path to the airport, jumped on the plane, got to Anaheim, got picked up, went to the doctor, and the next day I was on the ice with the Ducks. So it's pretty wild. And yeah, like I was living out of a suitcase, right? I only packed for this week. So I called my girlfriend. I was like, "Hey, like, I need some stuff. Like, I can't just go out and buy new clothes." So she sent me a box of just a moving box of stuff to California, which obviously took a while too. And then she had to take care of all the stuff with the baby, the newborn, at
Wow.
home, like cancel the lease, return the car. Obviously, like, we were super lucky that we had people in Toronto that we knew or like met during my time there, and that helped a lot. But yeah, it was finding an apartment, stuff like that. It was tough. I'm not gonna lie, that was a tough experience. But now talking about it is obviously super funny.
Yeah, yeah. In hindsight, it's really, it's a tremendous story, right? But when you're living
Yeah.
in that moment, and I mean, I always used to say that, like, fans are always excited, especially at trade deadline day, like, who can we acquire for a playoff push or a Stanley Cup run, but there's so many guys' lives that are just uprooted,
Oh
and
yeah.
and if you haven't been through it or you haven't been in the league long enough to experience it with your teammates, that yeah, it's so chaotic. And I'm just curious, in that whole story, is did you ever hear from your agent?
Well, yeah, yeah,
And was
I
he
obviously.
fired?
I was gonna say, how long was he your agent for?
Yeah.
uh, yeah. Well, we talked. Like, I called them. I was like, "Hey, man, like, what the hell? Like, how does this happen? Like, how did you not know? Like, how did you not hear?" "Well, yeah, there's, like I said, there's teams kicking can, but then they were worried that you got hurt last night, blah blah blah. So I didn't think anything would happen." And I was like, "Okay, like, whatever." And then yeah, I think like a year or two later, um, I was not very happy with, like, how it worked, like, in the whole scenario, like, that was
Mhm.
just part of it. So we parted ways, and, yeah,
Yeah.
part of the business too, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
absolutely.
So, yeah.
What do you when you look back at your time in Anaheim, Halsey, what do you remember?
Phew, there's a lot of things. Um, like I said before, it was a special time, and, I think what stood out for me, not the most, but a lot, was, the team when I came there. Obviously, it was going well. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get into a game during that time after I got traded. I think I didn't play till the next year of, training camp. But coming into that group, I was super worried, like, obviously, like, again, first trade. Like, what do you expect? Like, I don't know anybody on this team. Um, I'm basically the new guy. Like, I was still not old in a sense in the hockey world. I was still a younger guy trying to find my way around the league. Like I said, I barely just made the team Toronto, like, where I would stick on the in the lineup kind of. So I was super worried that starting at 0, not knowing anybody, not knowing what to expect on the other side of the yeah, basically the country, like East Coast, West Coast, right? So I knew Anaheim, obviously super nice. You're sunny California, so I was excited for that, going from Toronto there. But I had no idea, and I came there, and the guys, honestly, within, I want to say, like, a week, I felt like I played in this team for 5 years. Like, the team was so special, the way they treated me coming there. And there's a couple more trades. I I remember that, there's a big deadline day on defense, especially with the Ducks. I think they traded, like, 3 or 4 defensemen. They got Simon Dupre, and then I think a couple other guys and me. So Mer kind of like really got like a different vibe on the back end. So there was more new guys, which helped me too, obviously. But the new guys would stick together a little bit at the beginning, get around. But the team was so nice. Like from Getsy, Pears, like all these guys that were there. Um, Freddie Anderson was still there. Gibby obviously kind of like started to get in there, and it was really special for me to come there, and I loved being there from that moment on. It was a really great time, and we had, like I said, we had a great team. And even though I didn't play, I felt so much part of the whole thing just by the way the guys treated me and welcomed me on the team. So that really stuck to my heart and or in my heart, and that's something that yeah definitely stands out.
It's cool. Obviously, having you on is awesome just to catch up with you because it's just great to see your success and everything that's happened to you. But also, the Ducks now in the postseason for the first time in 8 years. They're making a run right now. You were part of the team in 2017 when they went to the Western Conference Final. The comeback on Catella is something that's been talked about
Yeah.
forever. What was that like specifically? Come back on Catella to be part of and watching that all happen.
It was it was insane, like, I've never seen anything before that, and I don't think I ever experienced anything after that, and, the way it just happened, like, I didn't play that game. We were up in the press box, obviously, and then, when we were down a couple of goals, you're just like and then the time's running down, you're like, "Holy man, like, fuck, like, this is gonna be tough to come back from," I was like, "Man, like, I don't know. I don't know. Like we're like you go down early, right? Before the game ends. And I
Yeah.
think on the way down, we scored one and we're like, oh, there's a chance, right? Then we watched the rest of the game in the locker room. And then just the way it happened, it was like, yeah, like I couldn't believe it. I running around in the locker room when we scored the winning goal. It was like it was insane. Like it was a crazy time and some one of the moments too that you will never forget for sure.
Well, hey, the Anaheim fans have not forgotten about you. And I was just at game 3, and I was doing a pregame hit for one of the local television stations. And so we had to do the shoot right from listen, it was early. It was like 5:30 for the 6:30 game. So there were some people in the building.
Yeah.
And as we were doing it in a wheelchair section, this gentleman came in and was like, "Hey, that's my seat," and said, "Oh, well, we're doing a quick thing. We'll be out of your way." And so I look, he's wearing a Ducks jersey, and as he turns to say something to somebody else, I see Holzer on the back. And so we got chatting
That's
or
awesome.
whatever, and I said, "Hey, big fan." I said, "We're actually supposed to have Korbinian on our podcast next week." And he's like, "Yeah, he's a big fan." He goes, "And as a matter of fact," he goes, "I got the jersey from him at the end of the season and the last home game
Oh,
where
nice.
you go, it's jersey off our backs
Yeah.
and you hand it to a fan." And so he said, I was able to go out on the ice and I got the jersey right off of Holsey's back. So he was wearing it proudly for the Ducks playoff
Awesome.
game against the Vegas Golden Knights. So I sent Frenchie a picture, and it's pretty amazing. But once again, it's just another, I guess, a reminder to all of us that when we do play, fans remember us, and we've had an impact on the teams that we played for. So no better example than seeing that for you.
Well, yeah, that's awesome. That's yeah, part of why we're doing it, right? I
Yeah.
think, or like why we play, and then hearing that, it's special for sure. And yeah, thankful again. Obviously, it's you can't say it enough. So the people, I love the people in Anaheim. The fans were awesome. I had an unbelievable 5 years. Yeah, I can say it that way. I was devastated when I got traded from Anaheim to Nashville, and not because it was Nashville or anything, just because leaving Anaheim and it was second home for me in North America for sure. And the people I met outside of hockey too, and the connections I made, and obviously the warmth of the fans and the people in the organization. Um, yeah, that's also moments that you will cherish forever. And I'm super happy that people didn't forget.
Hey, Halsey, before we let you go, you mentioned, as a young guy, you might have had one suit. But then on your Instagram, as I pumped it earlier, Korbinian_Holzer, there's another reason I'm bringing this up is because there's this place called the Holy Tiger Barbershop. And
Yeah, man.
Gibo, if you haven't seen these pictures, you need to go on his Instagram and check them out. There is one. Holsey it says every circus needs a director. He is the like conductor of a circus, and the look on his eye. I mean, the photo shoot must have been amazing, Holsey. I mean, you're
It
like
was unreal.
cynical. You're like cynical, mischievous. I mean, you are in full attire, and then there's another like commercial of the entire team going in the barbershop in full hockey gear for Movember.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys had some awesome promotions. I mean, what was this whole circus director thing though? I want to get into that specifically, man. You were on your A game that day.
Well, thanks, Frenchie. Means a lot. No. That Holy Tiger barbershop, like every place I went to, every team I went to, I always looked for a barbershop when I got there. I don't know why. I just, I like barbershops. I like the vibe around it, and I found that one, and they had great reviews. I went there for a couple haircuts, beard shaves, trims, whatever, and I got in connection or like in touch with the owner, and he's a guy like he's in Austria, one of the best barbers I think that you can find. He had some awards, like won some awards and stuff like that. So he's really good. And we got talking. He found out that I play for the team, the local team in Graz, and we chatted. I came by, and then he's like, "Hey, like I have this idea for Movember. Would you guys like 4 or 5 guys? Would you mind? Like, I want to do something funny, maybe like make it like cool, but like also funny, obviously good cause. And I want to promote it a little bit. And you guys, I know hockey guys do it. So I wanna do something. Would you be interested? I was like, hell yeah. Like I love this stuff. And I asked a couple of guys on the team that were in, and then we like kind of got the date set, and that's how the ball got rolling, basically. And it was so much fun. Obviously, it takes a while because he had to cut every guy's hair that day. And so he's like, "Hey, I can only do 4 or 5 because if we do more, it's gonna take forever."
Yeah.
Right? So we did every guy did the shoot with the cut like the hair before and the hair after with the helmet off, then the stash, and they wanna have make it funny. And then at the end, when we all sit on the couch, like the doctor comes in,
I
and that
saw
was the
that.
guy who's filming, and he's like, "Hey, so who's ready for their prostate exam?" And then the look on their face is like, "What the hell?" So that was kind of funny. And after that, like we stayed in touch. He came to a couple of games, and obviously I still went for a haircut there. And at some day, like um, there's this other guy I met too from a bar where we had our Halloween party. One of the best bars, if not the best I've ever been to. I honestly, if you ever go to Austria and Graz, go to
Yeah.
that place. And they're friends too. So that connection kind of started the next thing with the circus. Like they texted me and said, "Hey, like, are you interested in this photo shoot? We talked, and we think you're the perfect guy. We need a circus director." And I was like, "What? Like, what is this?" Like, I had no idea, right? So I was like, what do you need from me?" I was like, "Well, you just got to show up to this shooting, and like we equip you with all the clothes, and just we need someone like you would be perfect for this role." And I was like, I knew they do some crazy stuff, obviously, like, so I knew it's not gonna be like, "Hey, like, I'm the circus director," and like something
Right.
like in a sense where like this stuff, I was like, "This is gonna be crazy." Right? And all the pictures that they take, there's this like a live snake, a lady with the snakes was there. And what they did was promoting the haircuts, like basically promote the barbershop. So the guy would all cut hairs, and they would promote all the drinks the owner of the bar has. So every guy I had, like, I don't know if you saw the picture where I hold up the popcorn. It's a
No.
cocktail. There's a couple of shots where I hold up the cocktail it's like basically like looks like if you go to the cinema or the movie theater. It's a
That's
popcorn
awesome.
thing. Yes, that one.
Oh, look at
Exactly.
that.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
that's a
wow.
drink. So that's a
No
drink. That's a
way.
cocktail. So all these
That's
cocktails are basically
unbelievable, by the way.
That's
yeah,
unreal.
yeah. And they said to me when I got there, is like, "Hey, like, you're not gonna be that fancy circus director. we have a shitty circus here. That's what he basically said. This is going to be shitty, bare, minimum circus, from back in the days, where these guys travel around to survive. Basically, your clothes are going to be ripped. Like, I had these tight pants on. I barely got in. There's like, these are perfect. I was like, man, I look like shit. I was like, they gave me this thing, and then the hat, and there's holes everywhere. And but they made it look so cool.
It did.
And then they told me, like, you got to be this crazy guy, this crazy director who's like, hey, I'm in charge, but like, I'm kind of like fucked up. So
You
like
crushed it, dude. I mean, you absolutely crushed it.
It was a lot of fun, man. It didn't take that long. Obviously, the haircut did take a little longer, and the mustache and stuff like that. But the shoot itself went by so fast, and they had this huge guy there who's like 2 heads bigger than me. I think he was like 2 meters, like a solid 6'9", probably, or even more. And then they had this picture with that guy and a small person, it was insane. The contrast they made. It was so much fun seeing what they did, and being part of that was obviously huge. And the pictures came out unreal. Like, I liked them a lot. This picture, what you just showed, Gabe, it looks really nice, and it was a fun time and something outside of hockey that I like doing. And I'm happy that I did it because it turned out great.
Hey,
Gibo, I got to tell you something.
Model actor Korbinian Holzer.
So I might be back in California soon.
Look at this. I know you're going to be on Hollywood. No, Gibo, you got to check this out too. I don't know if you can find it on there on Instagram as we wrap things up. I know, but everything in the NHL now is free dress, right? So you want to express and guys get to kind of establish their own brand. There's one more photo, Holsey, I want you to talk about. It's a checkered jumpsuit with a hat on that you're walking into the rink. It was like, talk about.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Yes. Like everyone's walking in their suits back in the day, right? When you're traveling. But now you're walking in a full jumpsuit with this hat on, all about style, man. I mean, was that fun for you to be able to kind of express yourself and
voice there? Yeah, that one. This one actually, this game that was in Mannheim in Germany. This game was a retro game. It was like basically celebrating the 80s, 90s, and we had retro jerseys for that game too. And it was a full on, like, they had like the social media stuff. Everything was like retro, and we talked on the team before, like, we want to do something. Like, it's kind of like for the Winter Classic, right? Teams, they dress up and do stuff, so it's kind of like special for us. So we're like, hey, let's do something. And that time, I think, I don't know if it was the first time I watched a movie or like a couple times before, the movie The Gentleman with Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Unreal movie. And you know the boxers?
Yeah.
Yeah, they like the box club with Colin Farrell. They have all those tracksuits, just different colors. And these are all the Lonsdale tracksuits. And I reached out to Lonsdale because I said, like, hey, let's do something, guys. This is going to be awesome. We're going to do these tracksuits, and every guy on the team wore them. I got them for free out of the Lonsdale. I said, hey, like, we're going to do this. Would you guys promote us? Like, send us those tracksuits. And they're, yeah, hell yeah. Like, I have 3 or 4 tracksuits from them now, different colors. They're all sick, super comfy. And obviously they looked super cool. Like, it was so much fun coming to the rink and doing that stuff. So it's fun, I think, to express sometimes the other person than the hockey player, right?
Yeah, so cool. And well, we got to wrap it up because we could keep talking to you forever. Unfortunately, we got to wrap it up. But I want to say, personally, we touched on you being a coach, and I can see it. I want to thank you personally for being so good to me over the years. As many people don't know, at many times on the plane, Holsey, there wasn't a seat for me necessarily, and so I always ended up somehow in the player area, and you always had a seat open for me, and I truly appreciate that. But it was an absolute, I'll call it an honor to cover you over the 5 years in Anaheim. You're a true gentleman, as everybody who knows you knows, and I can't wait to see what's next for you. So congratulations on your championship. Congratulations on your career. And, you're a dad of 2, and be a dad for a minute, and I can't wait to see what's next for you.
Frenchie, thanks a lot. You make me blush here. Thanks,
That's hard because you have the same complexion I do, so that's tough.
I don't know, maybe a tan. I don't know. No, but hey, obviously, like, same from me. From the bottom of my heart, Frenchie, like, I think we had a special connection during those 5 years. It was always fun, joke around on the plane or wherever.
Yeah.
You were always good to talk to, and yeah, Guy, same thing. Like, everybody, the media in Anaheim was really good to me, or the team in general. So I can't thank you guys enough for the work we did together, and being respectful all the time. And yeah, it was a lot of fun, and those are that's definitely stuff I won't forget either. So those connections, that, like I said, I could talk to you guys forever too. So that means a lot, and it's been a fun time. And yeah, thanks for everything, and all the best to you guys too, for sure.
Well, we'll stay in touch. This isn't the last time we chat with you, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
not. This is
sure.
just
Part
it's
two.
goodbye for now. Yeah. So long to Captain Korbinian. Hello to Coach Korbinian. That's right. That's right around the corner. Holsey, again, thanks for joining us here on the podcast, man. And again, all the best, and we look forward to catching up with you real soon.
Thanks, guys. All the best to the Ducks too in the playoffs. Go Ducks.